Kong Dan Fernandez put the paper he was holding on the table and told me, ito ang sasabihin mong statement na ito. While pointing on the paragraph on the paper, ito ang supplemental affidavit ni Colonel Garma. Sabihin mo, alam mo ang reward system. I-confirm mo lang.
Well, yun yung aking analysis dun sa pangyayari. Bakit nila ginagawa to against us? Well, unang-una, demolition yun. Pangalawa, hindi nga siya pinag-uusapan namin, kaya nagulat ako nang nandun na lang siya, nagsasalita siya against us. Well, script nila yun eh.
Sir, clarification po ulit. Are you saying it's a script of Colonel Grijaldo and Senator Bato?
Yes, parang yun ang kanilang narration sa mga pangyayari dito.
Enzo Recto, kalaban ang katiwalian at kasinungalingan, kakampi sa katotohanan at kabutihan.
Ask questions of Colonel
Grijaldo. Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Colonel Grijaldo, isa ka sa mga pinapatawag doon sa hearing sa Quadcom.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, pwede mong i-share kung anong gusto mong i-share dito sa committee na ito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right.
Mr. Chair, Your Honors, sa ating lahat, magandang hapon. Allow me to read my opening statement. Matapos ang House Quadcom hearing na umabot ng 14 hours, dumating ako sa bahay ng madaling araw ng October 23, kasagsagan ng bagyong Christine. Hinihintay ako ng aking pamilya at nag-aalala at di nakatulog hanggang safety akong makauwi. Dala-dala ko ang masamang karanasan at hinanakit sa pangyayari, pero di ko agad nasabi sa aking asawa. Hanggang lumipas ang ilang araw, napansin niyang matamlay at di ako mapakali. Di ko matiis na di ko sabihin sa kanya, kahit alam kong apektado siya at may nervyos ang pag-usapan ay tungkol sa trabaho ko. With great courage, I confided everything to her. Kahit ito ay malaking problema, and it will affect us, and it will change on our normal and simple life. My career for almost 30 years of service, our personal and family safety and security, and maybe I will be condemned or be ostracized. My wife hugged me and started to cry and asked me why. I told her patagal na tayong nagsusumikap and we have to be strong and survive together. Mauna ni ang panahon nga magpakabanata means makialam. Lisod maging witness rata o maging innocent bystander. Maangol gyapon ta o maging casualty tayo. Gipasabot nako sa iya ha. I have to explain to her, kailangan naay mo barog sa kamatuoran. There must be someone to rise up to the occasion. I told her that I have the moral obligation and a call of duty to uphold as police officer. in the eyes of God and in the soul of man. I have to say this, even God was betrayed 3 times. But this time, I have to say this, I don't want to betray our beloved country, our fellow Filipinos, and to God Almighty. I don't want to discredit the men and women of the Philippine National Police, the institution where I belong. I don't want to destroy my beloved alma mater, the Philippine National Police Academy, who molded me with moral values to speak for the truth that I owe, and it's time to give it back the honor and respect. Your Honor, allow me to read my affidavit.
Good. Sige.
David,
Yes, Your Honor.
sige, also submit a copy to us. Sige,
Yes, Your
sige.
Honor.
Mahaba po yan? Ilang pages pa yan?
Saglit lang, Your
Sige,
Honor.
go ahead.
Allow me to read, Your Honors, my affidavit. I, Police Colonel Hector U. Grijaldo, 3rd Level Officer, presently assigned at Personal Holding Administrative Unit, Camp Crame, Quezon City, after duly sworn to, under oath and in accordance with law, do hereby depose and states that I have been dedicated to public service for almost 30 years, and since I took my oath as cadet on June 1, 1995. On October 16, 2024, I was again invited as a resource person in the 9th Joint Public Hearing of Committees on Dangerous Drug, Public Order, Safety and Human Rights, and Public Accounts of the House of Representatives scheduled on October 22, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. I, together with other invited PNP personnel, attended the joint hearing in the House of Representatives. After I answered questions related to extrajudicial killings and the reward system, I was approached by a security personnel while I was seated in one of the witnesses during the hearing. The said person told me that I was summoned by Congressman Dan Fernandez. I went out of the room with the security personnel. When we were outside, he told me to go to the left corridor and proceed straight to the end room. While walking, I saw other witnesses who were standing in the corridor, including my classmate, Major Portalesa and Captain Anova, who was wearing a PNP uniform, and the latter acknowledged me by saluting. When I entered the room, I saw 2 lawyers of Police Colonel Garma standing inside the room. One of the lawyers approached me and then asked me what we are going to talk about. I said I do not know. After a while, Kong Dan Fernandez entered the room and he asked me to sit beside him on his right side. And then Kong Abante entered the room, sat far end of the chair on the right. One of the lawyers of Police Karma stood near at my back. Kong Dan Fernandez put the paper he was holding on the table and told me, "Ito ang sasabihin mong statement na ito," while pointing on the paragraph on the paper. Ito ang supplemental affidavit ni Colonel Garma. Sabihin mo, alam mo ang reward system. I-confirm mo lang. Kong Dan told me to read the said affidavit. However, I asked the copy of affidavit he was showing to me to read it. He did not give it to me. The lawyer of Police Colonel Garma said, "Ikaw lang ang pwedeng magsabi niyan," sabi ni Colonel Garma. I was puzzled and I asked myself, why me? I respectfully told him that I cannot confirm. They are saying, as I have not read the affidavit. We went silent for a while. And then Kong Dan Fernandez said, while holding the affidavit, saan ka pwede? Dito, noong 1999, about DDS, alam mo to, pulis ka na sa Davao nito. I politely told him that I was not still with the PNP because I was working with the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology in 1999 that time. After some time, Kong Abante asked me how many years those still I have with the PNP. I answered, I still have 4 years before my retirement. Then he made a remark, pwede ka pang maging general. I humbly responded to him, masaya na ako sa ranggo ko, sir. Pagkatapos nito, sir, uuwi na lang ako. At magtatanim na lang ako ng kamote sa amin. The cordial conversation between us continued. And I felt that they wanted me to convince me to do what they wanted me to do. Then Kong Abante asked me where I serve as a chief of police. To which I answered, Mandaluyong City Police Station, sir. Kong Abante then persuaded me by saying, ikaw naman, Colonel, ganito na lang. Alangan namang walang insidente o pangyayari sa panahon na yon. I answered, and I served as a COP in Mandaluyong during the COVID-19 pandemic, and there were less crime committed. And we did not receive any reward from anyone. I added that we only received funds, additional MOA or support fund from the Peace and Order Fund of the LGU. I then respectfully told Kong Dan Fernandez that anybody can debunk my statement if I confirm the testimony of Colonel Garma about the DDS in 1999, since I was not a member of PNP at the time. And I have no personal knowledge as to the reward system. Additionally, I said, the work of the policeman are noble and requires great sacrifice, even without the reward or award. It is our moral obligation and a call of duty to serve our country and people. Then Kong Dan asked me, si Colonel Garma, anong masabi mo sa kanya sa Barayuga? I politely told him I cannot comment on the case. When I respectfully answered him, Sir, mahirap yan. Kasama kami sa nag-iimbestiga at hindi ko alam kung anong kinalaman niya at may investigasyon din sa amin, baka ma-incriminate ako, sir. After the discussion, they did not give me a copy of the second affidavit of Police Colonel Garma. I felt that I disappointed them. Kong Dan Fernandez and Kong Abante left the room, while I and the two lawyers of Police Colonel Garma stayed in the room for a while. I presume that they are about to present the second affidavit of Police Colonel Garma. I asked the two lawyers of Police Colonel Garma why they have chosen me. They did not answer me and just stared at me. And that I went back to the hearing room. When I went back to the hearing room, I immediately called the attention of Police Colonel Lito Patay, who were sitting behind the witness table. We proceeded at the back of the lobby area when they suspended the hearing. I confided and discussed to him what happened in the room with Kong Dan Fernandez and Kong Abante and the tall lawyers of Police Colonel Garma. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Colonel Grijaldo. What motivated you to speak before this committee?
The time, Your Honor, I was insulted, and it is very offensive, and I think it is inappropriate for anyone to act like that.
Meaning, you feel that you are being coached to make that statement?
Yes, Your Honor. I feel I be corrupted to make that statement, Your Honor.
Bakit?
Just because that time, habang nag-uusap-usap, habang nagkakaroon ng deliberation doon sa hearing, Your Honor, hindi ko alam kung may present nila si Colonel Garman that time, Your Honor, na mag-ano nung second supplemental, ay yung supplemental affidavit niya.
So do you feel harassed? Did you feel harassed?
It's an harassment and very offensive, Your Honor, and uncalled for anybody. That time, I was wearing my uniform
You're wearing your
as
uniform
police officer.
and you are being told to lie.
Parang
Am I correct?
gusto nilang magsisinungaling po ako, Your Honor.
So, Colonel Grijaldo, I would like to thank you for your courage. I'm sure maraming police ngayon nanonood, and if you have observed, mabuti na nagsalita ka, dahil if you have observed the way they are treating policemen in the Quadcom, it's very hard. I feel them. I feel them. Because naging police din ako. Kapag sasabihan ka lang, answer yes or no. You can only answer yes or no. You're not allowed to explain yourself. So, para bang you are being deprived. You are being deprived of your right to explain yourself. Kaya, lalong-lalo na kapag ikaw itinuturuan na itong sasabihin mo, itong paragraph sasabihin mo, o dito, pwede ka ba dito? So, that's very inappropriate and it's very irregular for a lawmaker making an investigation in aid of legislation to make that kind of approach to a resource person na parang pinipilit na itong sabihin mo, iko-coach ka, ito, pwede ka ba dito? Para parang lumalabas na meron talaga silang preconceived na goal na kung anong dapat lang ma-hit dito, kaya ginaguide yung magiging statement mo. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So,
We'd
so
like
ngayon,
to recognize Melalis Moras from PTV4.
Hi, good morning po, Chair Abante, Chair Fernandez. Sir, I understand may mga statement na rin po tayo kahapon denying the statements of Grijaldo. Pero just to be clear, para mas maipaliwanag lang po sa ating mga kababayan. So, may nangyari nga po bang private meeting about dun sa statement nga with Grijaldo? And ano po kaya yung reason, kung meron man, na bakit siya kailangang ipatawag in private? Si Grijaldo po.
Dahil mahaba yung sinabi mo, ako nang sasagot, Chairman Abante. Unang-una talagang there was a incident na talagang pinatawag namin siya. Pero not on our own volition. Because it was Colonel Garma, as what I'm saying sa mga interview sa akin, that asked na kausapin si Colonel Grijaldo. Kasi si Colonel Grijaldo, according to Colonel Garma, is a friend of her. So, sabi namin, tama-tama, ando si Colonel Grijaldo, so tawagin na natin. So, it was at the back of the Quadcom. So, nang kinausap namin siya, sabi ko nga kay Chairman Abante, kausapin natin, kasi nga, kaibigan daw, siya makakapag-confirm ng mga affidavit na ginawa niya doon sa supplemental. So, what we did was, yung lawyer, sinabi namin na pumunta para in the spirit of transparency. Kasi mahirap naman na na kami lang. Kasi we always see to it na dapat talagang merong kasama. As a matter of fact, yun din ang sinabi ko sa media that prior to the Quadcom hearing, nagkausap kami ni Colonel Garma. And I asked the permission of the chairman to be with me. And he accompanied me para at least transparent talaga yung usapan. Unfortunately, yung sinasabi niyang coercion and harassment, it never happened. Talagang wala namang coercion na nangyari. And ako, natatandaan ko kasi merong isang tao na naandun sa loob pa eh. Aside from the two witnesses na at the two lawyers ni Garma, si chairman, saka ako, and then somebody, kilala ko siya sa mukha, hindi ko lang matandaan kung sino na staff yon. So, we were discussing yung I think it was number 17 na sinabi ko, ito, sabi ni Garma, mako-confirm mo daw yung sa reward system. Naku, wala po kaming alam dyan. Wala po akong alam dyan. So, pinoint ko pa yung iba, yung 1999. Tama yung sinasabi niya. Pero yung kinuers namin siya at hinaras namin siya, kasi ang coercion talagang gagamitan mo ng threat eh. Gagamitan mo siya ng force eh. Kung ginamitan natin siya ng force during that time, di ba? There was still a lot of time for him to react eh, no? Eh, unfortunately, hindi niya yung ginawa. At the same time, we cannot do that. Alam mo, it's so unethical for the two of us not telling, yung sa mga chairman, like si Ace, si Chairman Acop, saka si Congressman Paduano, about do sa isyong yon. Kung pipilitin namin siyang magsalita. And it will be against sa ating procedure na to vet first yung mga magsasalita para at least sigurado tayo. So, yun yung tunay na nangyari. But, of course, mayroon din ako sinasabi na issue na yung reason kung bakit niya ginawa yon. Well, yun yung aking analysis dun sa pangyayari. Bakit nila ginagawa to against us? Well, unang-una, demolition yun. Pangalawa, it's an attack against me and, against you. And most likely, they really wanted to discredit the whole of the Quadcom. And it's quite unfair, no, to all of the members of the Quadcom, especially the chairman. What happened nang invite namin with our own volition na to talk to Colonel Grijaldo because it was asked by Colonel Garma. And sa amin, yun ang nakita kong naging repercussion ng ginawa namin. But of course, in every betting that we are doing, we always see to it that there are people around.
Opo, sorry, follow-up lang sir dun sa sinabi nyo yung nakikita nyo itong ay demolition. Ano rin po yung masasabi nyo na paulit-ulit sinabi ni former President Duterte na subornation of perjury at sabi nga niya maghahain pa siya ng kaso against about this against you po sir. Ano pong masasabi niyo ron at bakit po ba nung meeting wala ring abogado mismo kasi ang nasabi niyo po ang may abogado si Garma but po walang abogado si Grijaldo?
Kasi betting process pa lamang yun eh. Alam mo sa Kongreso, kinakausap muna namin and then kapag nalaman namin na pwede nating i-validate yung mga sinasabi niya, then the lawyers will come out. So, that time, wala namang lawyer na dala si Grijaldo during that time eh. Ang may lawyer doon is si Garma. And that's the reason why we asked na kung pwede yung dalawang lawyer pumunta doon para at least transparent yung usapan. Now, kung nagsabi siya na, yes sir, kinocontrol ko po yan, alam ko po yung reward system. And then, bring your lawyer. Yun ang namin yun ang sistema ng procedure namin sa betting eh. Kasi otherwise, kung una pala may co-coerce na namin siya. Alam namin, babalikan kami niyan. We're not like that. And you have to remember that we have a lot of evidences already. As a matter of fact, yung ating pong sinasabi natin na corroborative, no? Na-corroborate na eh. Actually, hindi naman kay Colonel Garma nagsimula yan eh. Doon sa dalawang PDL na kinorroborate ni Jimmy Portalesa, kinorroborate ni Warden Padilla. Saka lamang dumating si Colonel Garma, saka lang dumating si Commissioner Leonardo. So now, sinasabi ni Garma na ito, meron pang isang kaibigan ako na magko-corroborate doon sa mga sinabi ko. Well, actually, kahit wala siya, hindi nga siya pinag-uusapan namin, kaya nagulat ako nang nandun lang siya, nagsasalita siya against us. Well, script nila yun eh. Bahala sila doon. Well, panindigan niya kung ano magiging repercussion sa kanya dahil nga, we will not take that sitting down. Of course, yung kanyang affidavit na hinaras, and under oath siya, mabigat yun. And we will do something. And will be collective. I mean, not me, not him, but the whole of the Quadcom. Because the integrity of the Quadcom is at stake here. And we have done nothing wrong.
Sir, sorry, yung sa statement lang po ni former President Duterte about subornation of perjury, ano pong masasabi nyo doon na he even said na magfa-file siya ng case about this?
Well, ako, carry on. We will take action on that. Kung magpa-file sila sa amin, then yun ang mga repercussion of the things that we are doing for the Quadcom and for the Filipino people. And if this is the way that we need to act on certain things that happen, then we will confront the issue.
Thank you, Mela. Next questions from Tina Panganiban Perez of GMA7.
Sir, clarification lang. Sinabi niyo, script nila yon. Kanino po?
Kung nag-affidavit siya doon, tapos, well, actually, sa totoo lang, kaya ako nasabing script yan. Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi nga, during the time of our investigation, yung kay Colonel Andulan, yung sa issue nung namatay si Cesar Perez, na kung saan si Colonel Andulan, siya ang humuli kay Councilor Norbin Tamisin ng Los Baños, Laguna. And I am very particular of that issue. And then suddenly, yung CCTV lumabas. Nakita natin na wala naman si Norbin Tamisin doon. And sniper yung tumira kay Mayor Cesar Perez. Si Colonel Andulan from Batangas, siyang humuli kay Norbin Tamisin. So, when I was asking the Colonel Andulan about ano yung relationship mo kay Gerald Bato, sinabi niya na na-assign siya doon sa PNPA. At doon sa PNPA, during that time, yung anak ni Gerald Bato was in school, first year as plebo. So, yun ang sinabi ko, yun ang relasyon mo. And then suddenly, yung issue. Binanata na niya ako, and ako, nag-simmer down ako noon. Hindi naman ako masyado sumagot. Sabi ko kasi, hindi naman ako, kasi siya nga yung nag-mention ng babysitter, nagbe-babysit daw yung anak ko, ganon. Pero yung anak niya, hindi niya hayaan mag-babysit. And of course, nasaktan ako doon. Kaya sabi ko, wala akong mini-mention na nagbe-babysit yung anak mo. I don't want to demean the position of the men in uniform. But sa kanya mismo, sabi ko, wag sanang ganon. Tapos hindi na ako masyadong sumagot doon. Sabi ko, pag nagkausap kami ni Gerald Bato, magkakausap kami ng maayos. But unfortunately, ito yung lumabas. Di ba? Si Grijaldo lumabas doon, may affidavit na hindi naman siya yung pinag-uusapan natin dito sa Quadcom. Then suddenly, siya yung naging focal person doon sa kanila. So, I think there is a correlation about this.
Sir, clarification po ulit. Are you saying it's a script of Colonel Grijaldo and Senator Bato?
Yes, parang yun ang kanilang narration sa mga pangyayari dito. At dinala nila sa Senado si Grijaldo. Sabi nga na isang press sa akin kanina, sino ba yung Grijaldo? Sabi ko, yan yung kaibigan ni Garma na isinama niya dun sa meeting namin na kung saan nabago na yung narration ni Colonel Garma nang dumating si Colonel Grijaldo. And that I think we have to investigate why si Colonel Grijaldo na dumating sa meeting namin with Chairman Ace Barbers, hindi na niya na-reveal yung katotohanan. And then yun na nga, doon na nag-boils down yun, imbestigahan na namin si Chairman Garma, si GM Garma.
Opo. Sir, sabi po ninyo, the Quadcom will not take this sitting down. May legal action po ba kayong binabalak? And kung meron po, sino po yung kakasuhan nyo and ano pong kaso?
So we haven't talked about it yet, no? But ako, sa akin, kami, ni actually ngayon lang kami nakita ni Chairman Abante. But of course, parang hindi naman tama kung we will take this sitting down, no? We need to ferret out the deeper reason why this happened, that somebody will take his oath doon sa Senado and telling lies against the Quadcom. Hindi naman ako lamang ang tinira dito, but the whole of the committee. And it is incumbent upon the leadership of the Quadcom and the House as well to take action on this. Because I think he is under preventive suspension eh. If I'm not mistaken, because involved siya dun sa pagkamatay ni Barayuga, he is under preventive suspension. Kung he is under preventive suspension, somehow, you can relate that he's doing this because, yun na nga, trying to get even with us. So, sana wag sa ganun. Wag sa ganun pamamaraan. We are all, well, I believe that we are in the democratic way of our government and okay lang yan. Basta harapin na lang namin yan kung ano mangyayari. And we will talk about it.
May kulanong salita na ang ibig sabihin dito ay ang pagkakaisa.
Bunyog Party List.
Halika na, Bunyog Party List ka na. Halika na, Bunyog Party List ka na.
Sa susunod, ang atinang suportahan, Bunyog Party List, nagtataguyod ng katotohanan, lumalaban para sa bayan.